NASA just approved the most radical Mars plan ever conceived. Jared Isaacman's proposal would partner with SpaceX to build a human base on Mars by 2030, using Starship itself as the habitat. Instead of traditional construction, they're planning to convert the massive rocket into the base. Can a spacecraft really become humanity's first Martian home? Let's dive right in. The leaked proposal document reveals something called Project Olympus, a Mars discovery-based contract centered on in situ resource utilization. Whether Olympus refers to the base name, the project itself, or a target location on Mars remains unclear. What matters is this: NASA has officially acknowledged that building a Mars base isn't science fiction anymore. It's active policy. For NASA, this represents an escape route from an impossible trap. The agency's Mars sample return mission has become a budget catastrophe, crawling forward while costs explode beyond control. China plans to return Mars samples between 2028 and 2031, potentially beating NASA despite starting years later. The traditional approach, methodical, cautious, expensive, simply can't compete with that timeline. SpaceX offers NASA something unprecedented: the ability to skip incremental steps and jump straight to a permanent presence, potentially returning tons of samples instead of a few kilograms. But SpaceX needs this partnership just as desperately. Elon Musk has been funding Starship development largely out of pocket, betting everything on making humanity multiplanetary. That's inspiring, but it's also a massive financial gamble without guaranteed returns. A formal NASA contract transforms Starship from Musk's personal Mars crusade into America's official path to the Red Planet. It brings government funding, institutional backing, and national commitment, exactly what SpaceX needs to prove Starship isn't just a billionaire's dream, but a viable platform for the future of space exploration. The technical case for Starship is overwhelming, and the numbers tell the story. Mars sits roughly 140 million miles away at closest approach. Any serious base requires massive cargo capacity, and no other vehicle comes remotely close. Starship stands over 120 meters tall today and will reach 150 meters in version 4. The ship section alone measures more than 50 meters. We're talking about payload volume greater than the entire International Space Station in a single launch. Current capacity exceeds 100 tons to orbit, with projections reaching 200 tons once V4 becomes operational. Those numbers become real when you consider what they mean in practice. Traditional Mars architectures assume small payloads delivered over decades. Starship could deliver an entire base infrastructure in just a few flights. The vehicle runs on liquid methane and liquid oxygen, both producible on Mars through in situ resource utilization. That means refueling without depending on Earth resupply, creating sustainable operations rather than one-way missions. Here's where the proposal becomes truly bold. NASA wants this base operational by 2030, just 5 years away. That timeline sounds impossible until you understand Isaacman's strategy. There are two ways to build a Mars base, and the choice between them defines everything. The first approach uses Starship as pure transportation, delivering modular habitats and construction equipment for astronauts to assemble on the surface. This offers flexibility, but faces brutal Martian realities. Massive dust storms, temperature swings from minus 125 degrees Celsius to 20 degrees Celsius, thin atmosphere, and constant radiation. Surface construction would require multiple flights, extensive assembly time, and significant risk. The second approach is radically simpler and far more compelling. Convert Starship itself into the habitat. The crew compartment already provides more volume than the ISS. Launch a mission-specific Starship fully outfitted with life support, laboratories, and crew quarters. After landing, position it horizontally and reconfigure the interior. The stainless steel hull becomes radiation shielding. Methane-oxygen systems support local fuel production. Additional protection comes from piling Martian regolith around the structure. This second method delivers an almost complete base with one flight. Follow-up missions bring supplies and equipment, but the core habitat already exists. Construction time drops from months to weeks. Mission risk decreases dramatically because you're not depending on complex assembly on an alien world. It leverages what Starship does best, getting massive payloads to Mars safely. The timeline suggests a target between 2030 and 2032, ahead of China's sample return. Musk has stated the first uncrewed Starship could reach Mars within 2 years, with crewed missions following approximately 2 years later. That puts an uncrewed landing around 2027 and crewed missions around 2029. A 2030 base suddenly looks like the natural next step in a sequence already underway. But this requires SpaceX to overcome massive technical challenges on a brutal timeline. The company must prove Starship version 3 performs reliably, with 2026 as the deadline for demonstrating core capabilities. The orbital refueling system, absolutely essential for Mars missions, won't begin construction until mid-2026. Without proven refueling, Mars remains impossible regardless of how well Starship flies. Here's the complication nobody discusses enough. SpaceX isn't just working on Mars. The company has firm Artemis commitments, including lunar landings by 2028 and initial lunar outpost elements by 2030. SpaceX must now support both Moon and Mars simultaneously, requiring larger teams, higher launch rates, and flawless NASA coordination. The question becomes unavoidable. Can one company really execute 2 of humanity's most ambitious space programs at the same time? The White House executive order makes the answer clear. Repeated Mars references reveal the Moon is viewed as a proving ground, not the final destination. Mars is the ultimate objective, where humanity becomes multiplanetary. But Artemis commitments are firm, international partners are involved, and lunar operations provide essential Mars preparation. SpaceX must somehow excel at both, and the timeline leaves zero room for major setbacks. Success also depends on Isaac Mann's confirmation surviving political reality. His Senate committee approval was strong at 18-10, but institutional resistance to radical change is fierce. Even with Isaac Mann leading NASA, this plan requires approval across multiple agencies and committees. Previous Mars proposals generated endless studies, but never led to actual hardware. Isaac Mann is proposing something different. Contract with the one company already building the vehicle, set a firm deadline, and execute. No alternative exists that offers anything close to Starship's capability. The decision is binary: commit to SpaceX, or accept that America won't build a Mars base this decade. This proposal represents more than just another space project. It's a fundamental shift in how America approaches deep space exploration. For decades, Mars has existed in planning documents and PowerPoint presentations. Now we're looking at actual contracts, specific timelines, and hardware already under development. The question is no longer if humans will reach Mars, but whether we're ready to make it happen within 5 years. The stakes couldn't be higher. China is advancing rapidly, Russia's space capabilities are crumbling, and America's position as the dominant space power isn't guaranteed anymore. This Mars-based proposal isn't just about exploration, it's about establishing long-term leadership in space before that window closes. SpaceX has built the vehicle, NASA has the institutional knowledge, and Isaac Mann brings the vision to connect them. What happens next depends on whether the political will can match the technical capability. Here's what makes this moment different from every previous Mars proposal. The technology actually exists. Starship is flying, refueling systems are in development, and the timeline, while aggressive, isn't fantasy. We're watching the pieces fall into place in real time. Will SpaceX pull off the impossible and execute both Artemis and Mars simultaneously? Can NASA maintain political support through 2030? The next 5 years will answer those questions and potentially redefine humanity's future as a multiplanetary species. What's your take on this timeline? Too ambitious or exactly what we need? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you want to follow every step of this journey as it unfolds, hit that subscribe button for Space Update 24 hours and turn on notifications. Like and share this video to spread the word. We're covering the most important space developments happening right now, and you won't want to miss what comes next. SpaceX is moving at a record pace with Booster 19. The massive aft section with 33 Raptor 3 engine mounts rolled into the megabay on Saturday, stacking all oxygen tank segments in one swift move. By Tuesday night, the first methane tank barrel appeared, followed days later by the forward section with its integrated hot stage truss. What's the secret behind this speed? Only one final methane tank section remains, and at this rate, it could roll out before you finish watching this. Could Booster 19 become the fastest Super Heavy ever built? Let's dive right in. The numbers tell a story that's hard to believe. Booster 19's construction timeline is shattering every expectation we had about Super Heavy production. When that final aft section emerged from the Star Factory on Saturday morning, it wasn't just another hardware milestone, it was a statement. This massive segment, engineered to support 33 Raptor 3 engines, rolled directly into the megabay within hours. No delays, no extended integration prep, just pure execution. What's changed in SpaceX's manufacturing approach that's making this possible? The answer becomes clearer when you look at what's missing. This aft section exited the factory with slightly less external hardware than Booster 18 had at the same stage. Some components in the strake areas weren't installed yet, likely connected to the ongoing Booster 18 investigation. But here's the critical insight. SpaceX isn't letting investigation slow down production. They're building with confidence in their core design while leaving room to implement lessons learned. It's a calculated risk that speaks volumes about their manufacturing maturity. By Tuesday night, the first methane tank barrel appeared. Not the top section, not the bottom, the middle barrel. This sequencing reveals something fascinating about their parallel workflow strategy. While one team finalized oxygen tank integration, another team had already completed the methane tank's middle section and was deep into work on the forward dome. The production line isn't linear anymore. It's simultaneous, with multiple critical assemblies progressing at once across different bays and stations. Then came the forward methane section days later, and this piece carried special significance. The integrated hot stage truss was already attached, fully equipped and ready. Remember when hot stage integration used to happen late in the assembly?